Chicagoland SportsZone Saturday starts now.
A 36-year state championship drought was snapped. The Minnesota Vikings defense looks to bounce back from a down year. And Olympic silver medalist Chris Nielsen returns to South Dakota. Welcome to SportsZone Saturday. I'm Sean Bauer alongside Tanner Castora.
Tabor Post 183 hadn't won a Legion Baseball State Championship since 1985. That all changed following a 5-0 performance at this week's Class B state tournament.
Tabor found themselves with a losing record early in the 2021 season, but Post 183 knew they could grow from their losses.
At one point in the season, we might have been 5-6, and we talked about how we're a better team than 5-6. But I always thought you'd learn more from losses than wins, and they knew what we could become and kept working hard, and here we are.
Post 183 entered the region postseason on a 3-game losing streak, but that trend didn't last long as Tabor would go on to win their next 8 games.
We had a little bad stretch before regions, went back to work, and they really performed here when they had to.
I think we just played more as a team. Like during the season, I mean, we knew the games really didn't matter, so we didn't really try, but during regions and state, we just came together as a team. We knew it mattered, so we just went all out as a family and all that.
Tabor pounded out an impressive 44 runs on 54 hits in their run to the title.
That's the best we've hit all season. I mean, we just brought it all together for state. We went at bat to the next, and we just hit strikes, fouled off the balls, and just hit our best.
Right before regions, we started taking BP more and trying to fix what we were bad at, and Coach gave us a few tips. You know, he hit with individual people if we needed it, and yeah, it just worked.
Tabor paired their explosive offense with some shutdown pitching. Post 183 pitchers allowed just 12 runs over the 5 games.
We had a pretty deep pitching staff coming into state, and you know, everybody did their job, and we all pitched really well. You know, it's never been like any other year. We've never been this deep before, so it was big for us to have that pitching.
We felt we were 7-8 pitchers deep. We had a few nice games early where we could rest our guys, and obviously if you make it to Tuesday and I felt we had our 2 and 3 guys going, we were in good shape, and that's what happened.
Several players made major contributions for Tabor in their run to the state title, including Caden Kubal, who batted .625 and earned the Batting Champion Award. However, it was one of their youngest players, Riley Rothschadel, that earned the tournament's MVP award.
He's still a 16-year-old. He's got a state teener tournament coming up Friday, and I think he ended up this year 6-1. He had an ERA of under 7.7. He's got a bright future ahead of him, and obviously he was part of this.
Post 183 finished the year with a 23-9 overall record. In Groton, Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
A 4-year pitcher at O'Gorman and a state champion with the Renner Royals, Rys Arbogast's high school career has been decorated with success as he's developed into one of the best pitchers and players in South Dakota.
I could go out and watch baseball all day, every day, and be just fine because I think every time you go out, you're able to learn something new, see something different in a hitter.
An artist on the mound and a student of the game, Rys Arbogast is the true definition of an ace.
Something I always pride myself on is being able to find hitters' weaknesses. Something me and Tegan, who catches me, I think we work really well together on is being able to find how the hitter will beat himself. So that's something that I really enjoy doing, really study the game, doing that kind of stuff.
Arbogast's talent began to garner college attention toward the end of his sophomore season, and by the time he was a junior, SDSU felt like the place to be.
I just kind of knew it, you know, pretty early that I just wanted to be a Jackrabbit, and that felt like home to me, and I love the environment up there. I love Brookings, all that kind of stuff, so I'm really excited to get up there.
Arbogast will strictly pitch while competing in college, but this past year, it's been a different part of his game that's been refined.
This season, I think his game has actually progressed at the plate. I'm not saying that he was a bad hitter, but he's been a hitter that I can be reliable on, that I know he's going to get a bunt down, that I know he's going to put the ball in play.
I'm not a guy that has a lot of conversation the day I pitch. You know, I really like to get locked in and all that kind of stuff, but hitting really allows me to just come out here and have fun. And not that I don't have fun when I'm pitching, but I get to, you know, have fun in the dugout with my teammates a lot more and really go out there and enjoy the game and just be able to relax.
As his time with the Renner Royals winds down, looking back at the journey brings nothing but joy.
It's just been such a blessing that I've been able to ride the whole way up with these guys, and especially our last year together, being able to go win a state title. It was amazing. It's been such a blessing. I wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else.
Arbogast threw a complete game shutout in Renner's win over West Fargo on Thursday night, helping Post 307 advance in the Central Plains Regional. Tune in to KELOLAND News tonight for highlights from their game today.
And after 4 years of planning, followed by construction, Northern State University has taken ownership of their brand new stadium. KELOLAND's Grant Sweeter takes you on a tour.
Head coach Mike Schmidt saw his first season canceled due to COVID-19 in 2020. And a year later, Schmidt and the Wolves are eager to return to action in their new stadium.
Well, from when I interviewed here to watching the first beams go up to watching the turf come in, every point of this, it's been 10 times better than I could have even imagined. It's as spectacular of a setting in Division II football as you're going to find.
Construction is coming to an end at Dakota Bank Stadium, though the facility has already contributed to the team's success.
The facility is getting recruits in the door, without a doubt. You know, it's getting people from all over the country. This past year, we signed kids from 18 different states, just in this one class. And so, you know, seeing the Northern State footprint really expand throughout the entire country, not just this region of the country, but really from coast to coast, has been a lot of fun. And that's because of this commitment.
This near $40 million project began in the spring of 2020. And after 15 months of construction, the team is excited to get out on the field.
I think our excitement level is pretty high right now. You know, it better be. But I think what we're showing here is the community, the university putting its money where its mouth is at. To say we want to be a premier program in Division II football.
The university will gain ownership on Wednesday, and the team will begin practice on Monday in preparation for their first home game in just 38 days.
Pretty exhilarating to get out and run out onto this field for the first time in front of fans. I can't really overstate how excited we are for that and what that feeling is. Now I'm at the point where I've been excited about it for months and months. Now I'm at the point where we're just going to lock in and focus on winning the games.
In Aberdeen, Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
Northern State opens their season at Minnesota State Mankato on September 2nd. They'll host SMSU for their first ever game at Dakota Bank Stadium on September 11th. And we'll head up to Eagan, Minnesota next, as the Vikings are in the middle of training camp and hoping a revamped defense will help get them back to the postseason. That story's coming up next. The Vikings had the fourth worst scoring defense in the NFL last year, by far the unit's worst mark since Mike Zimmer's first season in 2014. Well, Minnesota has retooled that unit in hopes that will help them get back to the postseason. Last year's defense was the worst unit Mike Zimmer has had during his tenure with the Vikings. Along with bringing in plenty of new pieces, players are expecting some other changes.
He loves bringing some new aspects to the game as he watches film in the offseason, and as we game plan through the year, certain offenses may have tendencies that we may change things up here and there. So I'm always expecting that, and he knows we can roll with the punches, and he knows we're able to handle that. Defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson and defensive end Stephen Weatherly each re-signed with Minnesota after spending last season elsewhere.
There's comfort level on both sides. They know what they're getting into, and I know what I'm getting.
As did cornerback Mackenzie Alexander.
Now he's like a completely different guy. He's engaging and communicating and listening to everything and not making mistakes.
Alexander will be joined in the secondary by veteran Bashad Breeland and former All-Pro Patrick Peterson.
He's obviously had a ton of success in this league, and it's awesome having him here. So he's not only a great player, but he's a great tool for those young guys.
Minnesota will also get linebacker Anthony Barr back, who suffered a season-ending injury in Week 2 last season.
It's not just his play. He's the guy who calls the huddle, who, when things are scrambling around, he's oftentimes the voice of reason.
After sitting out his first season with Minnesota due to the pandemic, nose tackle Michael Pierce will play this year. The Vikings also signed defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson and safety Xavier Woods in free agency. With all the new pieces, communication has been an early focal point for a unit looking to bounce back.
You have to stay on top of it day to day, but also as the games start coming around, things get a little more detailed. So we'll have to continue to grow in that area.
And Pro Bowl defensive end Daniil Hunter is also back healthy after missing all of last season, which should help the team's pressure rate as they finished 28th in total sacks in the league last year.
Augustana alum C.J. Ham is entering his 6th year with the Vikings and is preparing for his 5th season on the active roster after spending his 1st year with the team on the practice squad. Ham has been a key part of the Vikings' potent rushing attack as the lead blocker for Dalvin Cook. He even earned a Pro Bowl invite in 2019 after the Vikings had the 6th best rushing attack. While blocking as a fullback is one of his primary jobs, Ham's versatility has helped him carve out a significant role on both offense and special teams. It's a skill set that head coach Mike Zimmer takes full advantage of.
CJ is a very, very smart, tough player. You know, he's got the ability to, when we need him going for protection, he can line up at tight ends. He does a great job on special teams. And then also, if we have to do a one-back, you know, for some reason he has to be the one-back carrying the ball, he can do that as well. So.
Ham and the Vikings will host the Denver Broncos Wednesday and Thursday next week for joint practices before the two each play each other in the preseason opener on the 14th.
And Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins also returned to practice this past week after being put onto the COVID-19 list due to being a close contact. A Stanford health study on football has shown positive signs toward decreasing the head impacts in the sport. We'll take a closer look after the break.
A local study could impact youth football across the U.S. Turns out the right kind of coaching could be just as important as a good helmet. Kettleland's Carter Schmidt talked with a researcher along with players and coaches who've seen the difference on the field.
Stanford researchers spent 8 years studying youth football.
So a lot of people have the question, is it safe, more dangerous now than it was in the past, or is it safer?
For the study, players wore helmet-mounted sensors. From 2012 to 2019, there was a 79% decrease in head impacts.
Our outcome measures were primarily focused on those head impact frequency numbers. We also did look at the severity measures as well, but the big changes we saw were in the number of impacts that players experienced.
Researchers say players and coaches may have played a role in that change. During practice, coaches have been focused on teaching kids to physically keep their head out of the game to avoid injuries.
And the way that coaches teach the game and instruct the game, and also ways in which players play the game and go about and have, how they tackle and how they block.
We're all required to go through training each year with USA football. So we've had in the past trainers come out, and we go through all the drills and skills that we're going to be teaching the kids.
That training resonates with the players.
Drop down, get low, keep your head up. Don't want to drop your head, go into someone else just with your head. That's just for me. Just keep my head up, go low.
Well, they teach us to put our shoulder into them instead of our head. Keep our head out of the play.
All techniques that keep players safe on the field.
That's what we're about, is being safe and working with the kids and making sure that they, not only safe and hitting, but they're hydrated on hot days and so on and so forth.
And now there is proof that it's making a difference. In Sioux Falls, Carter Schmidt, Kettleland News.
One says they will continue to study head impacts and have already started this year. The month of August is here, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the top plays from the month of July.
July was a busy month on the diamond as local Legion and softball teams competed in their state tournaments. Kettleland's Grant Sweeter has a look at the best of the best plays from the month of July.
The first honorable mention comes from a great diving stop by Sioux Falls East Grant Graber, who robs a Brandon Valley hitter of a single. Graber would help lead Post 15 East to a win over Post 131. The second and final honorable mention is a walk-off home run by Timon Long. Post 45 trails by 2 when Long gets his pitch and launches a 3-run shot over the left field fence. Harrisburg would claim the 4-3 8-inning victory over Renner. The fifth best play of the month features a tremendous pitching performance by Ethan Barron of Post 15 West. The right-handed pitcher threw a complete game, no-hitter, and walked just one opposing hitter. Sioux Falls West would earn a 14-0 win. Checking in at number 4 is a nice catch from the SD Phoenix's Sierra Brown, who ranges back to the fence and then reaches over the wall and robs a home run from a renegade hitter. The Phoenix would finish runner-up in the state tournament. The third best play of the month features one great performance by Harrisburg's Timon Long, who blasts 3 home runs while knocking in 4 runs batted in their win over Brookings in the first round of the Class A Legion Baseball playoffs. The runner-up play of the month comes from the Region 3B tournament as Vermilion's Charlie Ward races back and then makes a superb diving catch. Lennox was attempting to add an insurance run, but Ward had other ideas. He helped lead Post 1 to a Region 3B crown. The top play from the month of July comes from Harmondon Park as Aberdeen's Brock Martin ranges back and then adjusts and makes a sensational diving catch to rob Nate Sprinkle of a hit. Despite his effort, the Smitties would fall 11-6 to Post 15 East. That's a look at the KELOLAND.com top 5 plays from the month of July. If you have a play you would like to see featured on KELOLAND, you can tweet to us using the hashtag KELOSports. In Sioux Falls, Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
And just some fantastic plays there, and we'll likely have another baseball-filled plays of the week coming for you next week with the Amateur Baseball Tournament and Central Plains Regional underway. Still ahead, USD alum Chris Nilsson is an Olympic silver medalist, and his alma mater hosted a celebration of his accomplishment. We'll have that story after the break. It's a long way from Japan to South Dakota, but it's a journey USD graduate Chris Nilsson won't soon forget. And on Friday, Nilsson's alma mater welcomed him home with a celebration. KELOLAND's Dan Santella has that story.
USD graduate and Olympic silver medalist Chris Nilsson didn't anticipate this homecoming.
I was never expecting this many people, nor the outcome and everybody being so loud and excited for me.
17-year-old Dylan Powell of Brandon was here for the celebration. He's a pole vaulter too.
I was refreshing my Google page, looking at the results live, and then I came here and you see him, and he's just a real person, and it's, legendary people are just normal people, and it's kind of inspiring.
That inspiration can go beyond track and field, or even athletics.
I think it helps all of our student athletes and hopefully even just the people in South Dakota realize that they can reach any goal.
Coming home with Nilsson is his Olympic silver medal.
It's about as good as it can feel. I think the experience is what I'm going to remember more than the actual medal itself, but it's just kind of a good reminder. They couldn't really ask for a better situation, personal best at the Olympics.
Now the Olympics in Paris are just 3 years away.
He's only going to get a little bit faster, a little bit more strong as he goes. So I think in 3 years' time, if we can stay healthy and we avoid injury, I'd like to see what that meet looks like.
But for now, there's time to revel in what happened this summer.
I just kind of started out as like a small town kid playing soccer in my backyard with my grandma, and now we got an Olympic medal. So it can happen to anyone.
In Vermilion, Dan Santella, KELOLAND News.
Nilsson joins his collegiate coach Derek Miles as an Olympic medalist. Miles earned a bronze medal from the 2008 Games in Beijing. Well, the Central Plains Regional continued on Friday. Renner fell to Fargo Post 400, 5-0 in the winner's bracket game. Post 307 not done, though. They'll play Hopkins Saturday in an elimination matchup, while Sioux Falls East season comes to an end after Post 15 fell to De Pere, Wisconsin 6-1 Friday afternoon. East had fallen to Fargo Post 400 Friday morning after their Thursday night contest was delayed due to lightning. And we'll take a look ahead to the upcoming sports calendar. Plus, the final installment of the Sidewalk Talk is coming up when we return.
Throughout this summer, we've challenged you, the viewer, on your sports knowledge. With the fall sports season ready to kick off, it's time for the final edition of Sidewalk Talk. And this week, rather than ask you trivia questions, we've decided to switch things up. A look from above as the sun sets on the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to the final edition of this summer's Sidewalk Talk. Now, usually we have trivia questions for you guys, but this week, it's all about you. Do you have a favorite memory from any sport you've played growing up?
Running cross country with my older sister. We were able to win a combined team championship together.
Me and my buddy were on a golf team. I think it was actually middle school. He ended up teeing off, hit the tree about 30 yards in front of him, and then it landed behind the tee box.
State track my senior year, I won the 1, 2, 4, and 4x4.
I had a really hard day in football once, and I couldn't, I was a lineman. They were getting right through me, and my mom was like, hey, if you go down, bring him down with you. So, biggest guy on their team, we were in like 3rd grade. This man looked like he was in like 8th grade. So I took him down with me, knocked the wind out of me, but I mean, we got through and got a touchdown, so I mean.
Wow. Scoring the 3rd goal, it was my hat trick. I got a hat trick that game, breakaway hat trick, so yeah, I got a video of it on my phone. I watch it every once in a while.
The best part about playing sports, the friendships. I'm here traveling with a friend who was on that team, and we still work together.
Did you ever have a funny or embarrassing moment while playing sports?
Right before I ran a 400, which is 1 lap around the track, I threw up about 5 seconds before, and then I had to hand the baton, and it was full of puke.
Probably getting kicked out of too many games. Pretty embarrassing.
I almost hit a guy when we were golfing.
We were boxing out and stuff, and then I tripped a couple times. It was not a good game for me.
What is your favorite sporting event you've either seen in person or watched on TV?
That's a tough one.
I used to watch the UFC fights at Buffalo Wild Wings, growing up.
The Minneapolis Miracle.
It's got to be the skateboarding Olympics.
Just the hometown football. I just like watching my hometown play. From a small town, going to the games on Friday night, 7 o'clock. I played pep band, so I'd say that's my favorite.
So that'll do it for Sidewalk Talk. Thank you to everyone who came on throughout the past 2 months, and we hope to see you again next year.
Really good stuff, and looking forward to next summer when we bring that back. But now let's take a look at this week's sports calendar. South Dakota Class B Amateur State Baseball Tournament continues today with Coleman and Redfield playing in the nightcap 7:30 out at Cadwell Park in Mitchell. Then tomorrow, one Legion baseball team will punch its ticket to the Legion World Series. Now, depending on tonight's results, the championship will either begin at 12:30 or 3:30. And the fall sports season, well, believe it or not, is upon us. On Friday, girls and boys soccer kicks off as the defending Class AA girls champion Brandon Valley visits O'Gorman at 4 o'clock. And while the Knights boys will begin their Class AA title defense against crosstown rival Washington at Howard Field. That's set for a 6 o'clock start.
Make sure to tune in to Kellerland News at 6 and 10 tonight as the Central Plains Regional continues out at the Birdcage.
Looking forward to that, and also high school and college football practices have started, and on Monday they'll be in full swing with all 7 high school classes and all levels of college taken to the field for practice. So nearly football season, we'll have plenty of coverage from the gridiron coming up. So thanks for tuning in to another edition of SportsZone Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.